Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another of the Expert Process podcast, videocast that I wanted to share another idea with you, especially one that can resonate with so many people. And this basically deals with the notion of the blue sea versus the red sea. So you might say, well, what am I talking about? Well, a couple of the different guys that I follow, one in particular, Russell Brunson, I think also Gary Vee and perhaps Grant Cardone. These guys talk about this fairly often, but essentially the notion or concept of the blue sea versus the red sea means that the red sea is essentially a landscape that is crowded. It's a landscape that is saturated. It's a market that's saturated. So you can take that, for example, let's say, for example, the self-publishing space is a very crowded space. Let's say the movie landscape, indie film production space is a very crowded space. Let's say you want to get into the restaurant business, fast food chains. It's a very crowded space. And that's pretty much the way it goes for almost anything that has been developed or anything that's been exploited. But the notion of the blue sea just means that you find your niche within that market space. So a lot of times these guys talk about what's also called drilling down. That just means that you have to go down a few layers to penetrate the market to find your niche. So if you look at the market is here, and this is the surface level view of the market. So when you peel back the layer, if you just think of the earth, the first layer is the ground, or it's the grass. Well, you pull back the grass and then you have the dirt. You pull back the dirt and then you get deeper into the clay and things like that. And I'm not a geologist or any of that, but I'm just explaining that there are layers. Same with your skin, right? And there are layers in business that you have to understand as well. So if you peel back the layers, in other words, you are able to start or begin to drill deeper than the surface. In other words, how do you separate yourself? How do you separate your business? How do you separate your concept? How do you separate your film, your book, your business, your restaurant, whatever it is, your invention? How do you separate that from everything that's currently in the market? Now, I had a interview which you guys can definitely go and check it out on the Expert Process podcast on any of the listening platforms that you listen to your podcast. But the episode is with Floyd Marshall Jr. out of Philadelphia. And Floyd made a very interesting point during that interview. And what he said was, he said, Durante, one of the things that I like most about what you're doing, now I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he says, one of the things I like most about what you're doing is that with your podcast and with your masterclass and with your webinars, is that you have to realize that you said that it took you a minute to get over the fact that other people are doing it or other people are doing it too. He goes, but you have to realize that there are, if for example, there's a rib shack or there's a rib shop or a rib joint, right? There might be 5 other rib joints as you drive down the street, but each one sells a rib. A rib is a rib, but there is something that is different and unique to each one of those places. So Floyd's point was that you have your own personal spin to place on your message. You have your own personal spin to place on your delivery of your content. You have your own personal spin or your own voice for your book or or for your narrative for your film. And it plays out the same really regardless of what the industry is, which goes back to the process. That's one of the things I like to drive home and speak to regularly, is that when I speak on these things, yes, it is specific to filmmaking at this particular juncture because I'm talking about filmmaking, but it's also applicable to really any market out there where you have similar sorts of uh, uh, ways and directions in which you have to go to be successful. And what we're talking about here is just that. It's the red market or the Red Sea versus the Blue Sea. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing a University of Kentucky sweatshirt. Go Cats. And when I say Red Sea versus Blue Sea, our biggest rival back home is red. It's the University of Louisville. So I'm certain there's going to be some blowback on that from the Cats fans versus the Cards fans, but that's not what we're talking about. What I want to emphasize and drive home is take the time to figure out how to drill down into your niche, your niche or your niche. Find your niche. Find what it is that is specific to you, that works for you, that doesn't work for everyone else. That's pretty much it. Find what it is that works, that is tailored, that is specific to you, and then you can find your blue sea. It just means that it's not crowded. It means that it's an open market space. It's not crowded because can't everyone do it? Can't everyone do it? I mean, in my case, I've come to learn that, especially after going out to the AFM, the American Film Market, a couple times, going to some of these other film markets and festivals and things like that, I've come to realize there are a lot of filmmakers, but there are a lot fewer filmmakers that have actually produced a film. Most have an idea. Most have perhaps a script, but very, very, very few actually have a film that is done. And even fewer have a film that's done well. And even fewer have a film that's done well, that has actually gotten out into the marketplace. And then even fewer have a movie that's gotten into theaters that has box office receipts. So that's the reason why I feel as confident to share the knowledge that I have, because I know that that is a blue sea. In other words, there aren't many people that have actually done it, especially from the independent or indie side of it. Now, if you're talking about Hollywood studios or Hollywood films or films backed by some of the major indie studios, that's a different thing. But from starting from scratch to taking it all the way through, it's a bit of a rare thing. Now, you can correlate that to what you do, and you may realize that there aren't many people out there that can do what you do or have done what you do. So just think of it from that standpoint, and realize that your message, that what you have to share, and that your passion is unique to you. Your message is going to resonate with someone. Your value is with someone. And it's just a matter of finding who your tribe is, the people that are going to follow you, the people that are going to listen to you, the people that like you, the people that are going to share your message. So it's just a matter of finding who those people are. And once you do, then it's sky's the limit. On that note, I'm out.